Hi, this is Suzanne Dome, author of Empty Space and owner of the small business Offworld Tribe. Um, I had some friends ask me some questions recently. A few people asked me some questions on my www.emptyspace.us site, and then my good friend Morgan Olson asked me a good question over Google+. I'm going to answer his first because it was pretty direct. Morgan asked me the other day if I could have ghost written or be a ghostwriter for any author that I adored, would I? And I kind of cut him off. I kind of said, not no, but hell no. And really, let's face it, it's because I'm selfish with my time. I don't want to sit there and listen to somebody else drone. So, no to the ghostwriting. I recognize that it's an important job in some instances. You need a ghostwriter to help somebody get something taken care of and written out, and but not for me. I want to get my own stuff out, and sitting there listening to somebody else and having to take their dictation would drive me crazy. So, no ghostwriting for this girl. One of the other questions that somebody asked me was, where do my creative ideas come from? And, uh, there's so many places. There's environment, there's my spiritual studies. I've studied all kinds of spiritualities, so I've gotten some inspiration from that. I've been a vivid dreamer since as far back as I can remember. Um, and all of my dreams seem to happen in story form. So, uh, I do take scenes out of my dreams and I use those. Another one of my inspiring things that I do is my small business, Offworld Tribe. And that's my handmade jewelry and handmade accessory business. I take it to conventions and I meet crazy people and I sell my stuff. And in the process of this, I hear other people's life stories and I get inspired by these things that these other people have done or gone through or survived. And I don't ever take someone totally and turn them into a character, but I take aspects of them that really stand out. And so I've met all these different kinds of people, all these different kinds of religious people, and all these different kinds of educated people and non-educated people, and people who were just genuinely good people. And, um, and then there were the jerks and the users and the posers and just all these people that, you know, kind of mix and mingle around. And the conventions are a great place to meet those because you get a little bit of everybody. You get some really strange ones sometimes. Those are really fun to work in later. Um, so I get inspired by that. I listen to a lot of music. I'm primarily a metalhead, and I love metal. Um, I started with 80s rock and hair bands. Okay, I've got this huge thing. I love Def Leppard. I will never stop loving Def Leppard. And I'm a child of the 80s, so there's a special place in my heart for 80s music. And, Joan Jett inspired me to start razoring my hair. Um, I just love it. I think my favorite song from her is Bad Reputation. I think that would have been my anthem in high school. And not for the troublemaker reason either. For the big geeky reason. I got into metal when I was in college, and so I listened to metal. To me, it's very inspiring because it's so raw and so blatant, and nothing's held back. And so I really like metal for that reason. And I'm still a fan of guitar sounds, and so that sticks out too. I have certain bands I prefer. I like bands that kind of cross genres a little bit. Um, Not a fan of country, not a fan of pop, not a fan of rap. Um, but there's aspects of it that when it's worked into other music, I'm okay with it. I actually like world music and cultural music a lot. Celtic music and Middle Eastern belly dancing music and um, Indian music and Native American music and all those different cultural pieces. And then groups like Delirium and Enigma who take those little pieces and turn them into something kind of ambient and techno-ish. And I like to mix that in with my metal because I don't listen to just metal straight through, and I listen to different kinds of metal, so I don't even have the same kind of metal going at the same time. But even in book one, you can really tell some places where I've listened to a lot of 80s music, and my taste for Cheap Trick and Styx is very apparent. And then you can tell where I've listened to a little harder music, and I've started listening to a lot more metal as the development of the story goes for Empty Space. If you know me and you know the music I listen to, and then you read the book, and you're like, she must have been listening to this right here. So, that's always been an inspiration for me. Music does something to my brain. It makes me kind of go off in a daydream. And so the music makes me think of some scene or image or act that's playing out. And there's some songs that are just more powerful than others. And so many of those really powerful songs for me came from 80s hair bands and the pre-metal, the Dio, and believe it or not, one of my favorite songs is The Final Countdown by Europe. I can't tell you why, just something about that song is freaking awesome. And so music has always been present in my writing environment. So I've kind of taken my creative ideas from a lot of places, but I think the biggest one is that I'm a very, very vivid dreamer and a very vivid daydreamer, and I just have this visualizing things is so easy for me that I just can't help it. It just comes very natural for me to sit there and visualize something going on. So I don't have any problem really sitting down and visualizing a storyline. A lot of times for me, it's time to actually write it down. And so my ideas are there. They're just kind of in storage, as it were. And so I try to get things jotted down when I can. Recently, and I do get ideas from books I've read. I watch a lot of science-based television. I do watch crime shows and forensic stuff and science, technology, and not so much medical stuff. I'm not really into that whole gory, bloody, let's take this person apart. And I really, really hate all the reality TV that's on right now, because if you want reality, why don't you step out your front door? I mean, come on now. Not to mention that if I want that much drama, I'll just, sit there and record what goes on at my day job. There's plenty of drama to be had in any high school. Or just walking down the street of a small town, because let's face it, everybody knows everybody here. I do take a lot from, the daydreams and the dreams at night, and those actually reflect a lot upon whatever has gone on in my life recently, or the people that I've met recently, or the stories they've told me. So sometimes someone tells me a story that might replay in my dreams, and I remember it that way, and then it ends up becoming part of the story. There's a section in book one that's actually the dragon boxing had to do with the dream I had once, and then there's sections in book two that have to do with dreams I've had. Book two, I'm also working in some heavy conspiracy elements and some more spiritual, cultural elements as well that I didn't get to work into Empty Space, because it was kind of an introduction to the universe that I created. So anyway, there you go. Places where I'm inspired and get my ideas from. And no to the ghostwriter. So I hope that answers everybody's questions, or at least the questions I was asked on my webpage and by my friend Morgan. And Morgan, speaking of which, is also a very talented person and has always been very creative. So, everybody, I hope everybody has a good day. I hope you've enjoyed this, and peace out, yo.